Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So sorry for the late start.
Getting a little worried there.
Sorry. Yeah, we were in another meeting and it went a little bit over, and Zoom doesn't allow us to have two meetings going on at once. So, all right. Welcome, welcome. Just wanted to flag that I'm going to drop the agenda in the chat, but please introduce yourselves in the chat also with your name, your organization or affiliation. And we are going to get started in just a minute. Hi, everyone. If you're just joining, please introduce yourself in the chat with your name and your affiliation or organization. We're going to get started in like 30 seconds. I'm sharing the screen. All right, so welcome everyone. My name is Heaven Jordan, and I am the program associate with the Food Equity Council. I will be leading this call today, and but I'm going to pass it over to Julia to just say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here. I'm Julie Grunfeld, Program Manager with the Prince George's County Food Equity Council. Behind the scenes today, helping with the chat and any notes, and Heaven's going to be facilitating. So yeah, good to be here. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. So today we have on the agenda Kyra Cook from the Office of Food Security. A little while back, I don't know if you all remember, but there was a census that went out just to get an assessment of the Food Assistance Provider Network and see what you all are doing and your needs, and she's going to present that today. Kyra Cook, are you ready to present?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Can I share my screen?
Yes. Make sure you have. Perfect. We can see your screen.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Heaven. But hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well so far today. My name is Kyra Cook. I'm the Food Assistance and Outreach Coordinator for the Prince George's County Office of Food Security. We just want to thank the Food Equity Council for having us here today. We're going to go a little bit over our office background and then talk about our 2023 Census of Food Providers. And many of you have probably heard from me, like Heaven said, I was doing a lot of the messaging for the survey and the follow-up. So just as an FYI, the survey will be something we're looking to do moving forward. And so hopefully you guys aren't too tired of me yet if you have heard from me. So like I mentioned, we're just going to go over a quick introduction. Usually Bridget Warren, our program manager, would share this information, but in her absence, I will do so. So I'll do my best. So what is the Office of Food Security? This office was created in 2022 to strengthen the food system and expand food access through collaboration with other agencies and partners. We are a relatively new office at the Department of Social Services. However, DSS has supported many food security efforts for many years, and during the pandemic, they asked that the Food Equity Council coordinate meetings like this one to contribute. And so following the COVID-19 pandemic, the County Council convened and created the Food Security Task Force that was intended to examine food security in the county. In early 2022, the county council adopted the task force recommendations that were set to guide our work. And you'll see a couple here. You'll see that the first was to create and fund the Prince George's County Food Security Office, and that is us, but we'll come back to a couple of these in a couple slides. And so this is just a continuation, but of the policies and program recommendations, and we'll come back to this as I just stated. And so we wanted to go over a couple of initiatives for our office, starting with the County Food Security Collaborative. This was just something we formed because in the past there was a loose coalition of agencies that work together on improving residents' health, food security, and the county food system. Their work has taken place on a project-to-project basis with small work groups addressing a particular issue or opportunity. However, we wanted to strengthen county agencies in collaboration. So we established this food security collective, and we meet quarterly with county agencies such as the Office of Homeland Security, Office of Information Technology, WIC, the Health Department, Department of Environment, Department of Family Services, the University of Maryland Extension, MNC, PPC, and Department of Recs. So the next initiative we wanted to go over really quickly was the Healthy Corner Store Initiative, which was first piloted in 2022. This is a program that encourages local corner stores to stock fresh produce and to improve food access, especially for SNAP and WIC customers. So in 2024, we'll look to work with 5 new corner stores in the county, and I'll be working closely with these locations to provide nutrition lessons. So if you're interested in learning any more, have any suggestions, please feel free to send me an email, which I'll share at the end. So we'll also be beginning outreach to vulnerable populations who can benefit from SNAP, WIC, and additional benefits. We'll be beginning our outreach with seniors through the Department of Family Services, but eventually we'll be working with other vulnerable populations. So community gardens are another office priority of ours. Starting in 2024, we'll work with partners to establish gardens in communities with high food insecurity, as community gardens provide access to fresh and culturally appropriate food while also improving physical and mental health and wellness. So community gardens are a great example of collaboration within the government. The Soil Conservation District can assist with stormwater plants. Master gardeners and the UMD Extension can provide technical expertise. The Department of Environment now has a mini grant program for community gardens using regenerative practices, and the MNC PPC runs a large number of community gardens. And in October, we collaborated on a community garden summit, which was a lot of fun. All of the agencies that we just mentioned participated, as did the Food Equity Council, and this will be something we look forward to doing annually. So the next initiative would be the Maryland Market Money Program, which is a program we just hope to expand. We know many of you are probably familiar with the program because it's been around for a couple of years now, but this is a program that provides dollar-for-dollar matching to SNAP and EBT customers at farmers market. And this is a program that is funded through our office in DSS. So our office also provides legislative responses and written comment on General Assembly and County Council bills when requested. We represent the county at the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments meetings regarding food policy issues and regional projects that affect our residents' food security and access. So OFS also gathers, analyzes, and shares data to guide county food security efforts. This is a core function of our office. And through the Council of Governments, we're working with DMV food security offices and emergency planning groups to develop comprehensive database of food assistance locations in the region. We're also creating County Food Assistance GIS layer with the Office of Emergency Management and Office of Information Technology using existing data and data from our census. So we wanted to revisit the task force recommendations and provide updates on our current efforts dating from July of 2022 to now. So where do we stand? We are working on the highlighted recommendations, which was first to create and fund an office, which we're now functioning. B, gather, analyze, and use this data to inform and drive county agency food security decisions. And C, increase resident participation in federal nutrition assistance programs. And so touching on the policy and programs recommendations, we're at 1, planning for future food security disruptions by developing an emergency food security plan that integrates food system experts into existing emergency management operations. And 5, leveraging state and regional partners for cross-jurisdictional food systems planning, coordinated communication, and infrastructure development. So many might ask, why a survey? Well, the Office of Food Security has made a start on our initiatives. However, we want all of the OFS programs to respond to our residents' needs and relevant data. And that's where you all came in. We want to better prepare for emergencies that might impact food security. So we decided to gather information from local food assistance providers. So the census came about through the gathering of information needed for the Council of Governments project, which created an opportunity for our office to seek input from you all to guide our work and that of our partners. So we designed the survey to inform regional and local emergency response and management of food security challenges, and also to inform the Office of Food Security priorities. And so this final survey was comprehensive, and as previously mentioned, we used some of the existing data and data gathered from you all to help assist us in the creation of the county GIS layer with the Office of Emergency Management and Office of Information Technology. So our survey was broken into 3 sections: the Council of Governments and general information questions, the County of Emergency Management questions, and the Office of Food Security questions. So starting with the Office of Emergency Management, they work to coordinate county emergency management programs to prepare, prevent, plan, respond, and recover from all hazard events. So the Office of Food Security was happy to have their participation in the survey, as previously food system issues had not been well addressed in the emergency planning efforts. So we worked with OEM to discuss food security in our county and provided examples of jurisdictional planning efforts, and we assisted with background materials and data and met regularly to discuss the plan. So OEM wanted to assess the willingness of food assistance providers, community-based organizations, and faith-based organizations to assist in an emergency, and we were happy to see that 78% of the food assistance providers were willing to partner. And that was important because during an emergency, the sharing of resources could allow for services such as food distribution and aid to be delivered more efficiently. So we just wanted to highlight some of their guiding questions here that provided some of the logic behind their survey questions, but those that were included in the survey included: what resources and services do you offer? What is your feeding capacity? And what equipment do you have? So the responses to these questions offered insights into the organizations, their capacity, and what they offer. And these organizations offered produce, grocery items, prepared meals, perishable foods or snacks. The majority of the organizations had at least a refrigerator and a freezer, and some having a stove, refrigerator, and freezer. So here we have some of the informational organizations that responded. We wanted an idea of organizational makeup for the food assistance providers in the county, with 68.6% of organizations not having eligibility requirements, which was great for accessibility. And they were primarily nonprofit organizations with functions as a food pantry. Next, we wanted to get a feel for organization capacity. Organizations were primarily run by volunteers, with some being staff and volunteer run. And so with collaboration being a key component of our office functionality and emergency planning efforts, having an understanding of the staffing and capacity was important. And this data shows us that there might be opportunities for increased staffing and resources. So next, we just wanted to provide some questions that came directly from our office and wanted to provide some context for each. So building off of the Food Security Task Force recommendations, it was important to increase bulk buying opportunities. So a leading question for question 3 was, are you participating in any federal bulk buying programs and which ones? So the question on the next slide was important to see who might benefit from a federal buying program due to lower levels of buying participation, with organizations indicating that only about 7% were currently in a bulk buying program. But it was good to see that here we had 38.6% that were interested in it, and 36.1% indicated that they wanted more info, which was positive in seeing that they were in fact interested. So the next question is question 6, which we wanted to understand access to cold storage, as we understand limited storage to be a barrier in the food distribution process. So one of our future tasks will involve collaborative interventions to improve food assistance equipment capacity and efficiency. So the following question was formed to help identify and address any potential gaps in the food assistance provider distribution. And we're thankful to the Food Equity Council for their cold storage work in the county and their follow-ups. So this result was actually pretty positive. 77.1% of organizations stated that they did have cold storage access. This question was actually important for the Council of Governments, the Office of Emergency Management, and Office of Food Security, as we were interested in understanding the types of cold storage facilities available or needed to distribute in the county. And so we appreciated that follow-up from the Food Equity Council to those that didn't have it, but the results were pretty positive, with 77.1% having that cold storage. So the next question went back to community gardens. As we know, this is one of the primary initiatives of our office, and they offer many benefits, such as providing access to fresh and culturally appropriate food. So there are opportunities to start these gardens in the most food insecure areas. So this next question was formed to get a feel for potential opportunities for partnership. So 20.5% of the organizations were interested in participating or hosting a community garden, with 38.6% expressing that they would want more info, which still was pretty positive considering. And we had a follow-up to this question asking, do you have access to or know of any land? And 13 organizations indicated that they do have access to or know of land that can be used. And so an important priority for us was to be able to invest and utilize land for community gardens to help strengthen the local food economy, but also increase food system resilience, specifically when faced with disruptions to the food supply. So the responses to this question will assist us in our efforts to bring gardens to the communities in need. And lastly, we have question 8, which builds off of the community garden initiative. We wanted to reference Grow a Row, as it encourages home gardeners and community members to grow fresh produce for partners, which brought us to our leading question of, do you receive food rescue donations, which is a program that the Food Equity Council works on. And we wanted to see if perhaps participation can be increased for this. So we wanted to inquire about the interest in receiving donations here on the next slide. So 68.3% of organizations would like to receive donated produce from home or community gardens, which is positive because Grow a Row and programs like the Food Rescue Program can assist in strengthening the local food capacity, while also providing resources and education opportunities to these organizations. So the responses to this question and the organizations that identified a need or interest in this, it would help us see who could be a good recipient for programs like this. So I know we might have gone a little over our time. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can email us and I'll share our contact info on this next slide. We just want to thank you all who participated and who helped circulate the survey, and we hope that you all participate in our future efforts, but feel free to provide any feedback to us. You can email myself or Bridget here, but we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kyra. And do we have any immediate questions for Kyra? You can either come off mute or drop them in the chat. All right, hearing none. So we're gonna move. Oh, did we have some?
That's just me. Before moving on, I just wanted to let Kyra know that Deborah Archer asked to connect. If you guys don't have each other each other's contact information, I'm happy to send a follow-up email to connect you to. And I also just had a question myself. Kyra, can you share just the number of folks that ended up completing the survey? So we can get an accurate sense of kind of the numbers of folks that shared their information.
Yeah, no problem. We had a total of 83 organizations respond.
Okay, to the full survey?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Great, and I see someone else in the chat. Tara wants to connect with you, Kyra. All right, and we are going to move on to our next speaker. So we have Alan Williams, Vaughn Barkdahl, and Martha Ainsworth, who will be discussing or sharing a little bit about the Better Bag Bill updates and how that could affect our food assistance provider network. The floor is yours.
I'm not sure if I'm to go first, but I will.
Sure.
My name is Alan Williams, and I am the Recycling Inspector Supervisor. That's my manager, Vaughn Barkdahl. And we're the inspectors that go on scene to verify that these properties are in compliance with the Better Bag Bill. I have a few slides.
Yep.
See if I
You
can
can share your screen.
Oops. That's not the way I wanted to show it, but let's see if we're on the right slide. The Better Bag Bill, CB 32, goes into effect on January 1st, 2024, and it prohibits retailers from providing plastic bags at the point of sale to their customers. And it also, they must charge at least 10 cents for a paper bag or a reusable bag. A reusable bag means a bag with stitch handles and is designed for multiple use. It should be cloth, washable fabric, and able to be used for multiple visits to the store. It should have no plastic film attached to it or in it. Our inspectors have been visiting properties since September, making the businesses aware of the fact that this bill is about to take effect in January. They found that plastic bags are in the top 5 plastic materials collected during beach cleanups in the United States. So we don't want plastic bags in the county. The 10 cent is just to make sure that people would use or bring their own bags to the store. The purpose of the bill is to protect our environment and and waterways and marine life. It is also to reduce litter in the county. We also want to produce a healthy and safe environment for our residents. The bill applies to any retailer, grocery store, restaurant, or any establishment that provides plastic bags at point of sale. As I said, we have been visiting the properties to make sure that the community is educated on this. A first time visit after January 1st, if they have plastic bags or providing plastic bags to their customers, then they will get a warning. Second visit, then they still providing plastic bags will result in a $500 fine. There are exceptions to this rule. You can have plastic bags in your grocery store for bulk items like vegetables, nuts, fish, flowers. Your clothes can be from the dry cleaners in a plastic bag. And you should not be charged the 10 cents at a pharmacy or a drive-through or takeout from a restaurant. Basically, that's the law in a nutshell. You can also contact us at our office at the number that's listed below at 301-883-63, I'm sorry, 3635. Now, my manager may have something to add.
No, actually, thank you very much, Alan. Very succinct and to the point. Again, we don't, for obviously for food banks and for volunteer sites, there is no charge for this to the Better Bag Bill. So we wanted to make that perfectly clear. It's only for-profit companies that would be affected. Martha, would you like to add anything?
Sure, thanks a lot for inviting me. Yeah, so food banks, you are not being restricted in the kinds of bags you can provide to your clients at all. You may end up getting fewer plastic bags from your donors, but it does not affect you. I think that the most important thing right now is to get the word out to all the food banks to tell their clients about the bill so they don't show up without the reusable bags. We think that a lot of them already have reusable bags, but no one really knows who has them and who doesn't. Sierra Club has a limited number of bags. We've been contacting a few of the food banks on your list to distribute them, and we're going to have some flyers. And I don't know, we can't reach all the people, all the food banks on your list. I do have some pictures, two slides here that show the bags that stores can allow and those that they cannot provide. If you're interested in that, I can screen share those two slides.
Sure, you can share them.
Okay, good. All right. Can you all see that?
Yes, looks good.
I don't know how to expand this. Anyway, it's a little bit cramped. So the bags that stores can provide are either paper bags or a reusable bag with stitches, with stitched handles. It doesn't allow any of the film plastic bags, and film plastic is like your sheet of plastic. So you can see here that these bags have some plastic in them, but they're very durable and they have stitched handles. So you know they're going to last a really long time. So if you see a plastic bag, it has stitched handles, it's allowed. But here are the ones that are not. And there we go. Whoops. Go up a little bit. Okay. This is the cutout handles that you see. Some of these bags declare themselves reusable because they're thicker, but these are not going to be, these are also prohibited for retailers. This one doesn't have stitched handles, it has glued handles. These don't last very long. Some people use them for their trash. So so that's all about, and this applies to all retailers, grocery stores. It applies to restaurants, like they said, except for the, through the drive-through window, or if you have leftovers. But it also applies to hardware stores, bookstores, clothing stores, all the stores. So it's really important for people to remember. This is the best practice bill. Oh, here's another example. This is a woven polypropylene bag that has fused handles that look like a stitch. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop sharing now. But it's important to get the word out for people to bring their bags, and we know it can work. Just for your information, in the last year, 10 different jurisdictions in Maryland have adopted very similar bill. It's already in effect in College Park and in Easton and in Salisbury. And on January 1st, it'll go into effect here in Prince George's County and in Anne Arundel County, Frederick City, and Greenbelt and Laurel. Laurel already had a plastic bag ban, but they're going to add, but so many people took paper bags instead of going to reusable bags. So now they're adding the 10-cent charge for the paper and other bags. So our goal is, if you can imagine Aldi or Lidl, almost all the people, more than 90% of the people don't take a bag at all or bring their own bag. And that's what we're hoping for. And it'll be very good for the environment. And it may actually help with food prices because all those free bags are in the overhead of the store. So now the people who take a bag pay for it and the people who bring their bag don't. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for attending and sharing with us. I see we have a question from Deja. Can I come off mute?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Hi, Miss Ainsworth. Nice to see you again. I had a clarification or a clarifying question about the bag bill in terms of restaurants. I've heard two things and I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding or which is correct. So can restaurants give plastic bags with leftovers? And okay, so the
No,
correct
the exemption is from the charge for the paper bags.
got
None of
you.
them can
Okay.
provide plastic bags. Yeah,
Okay, thank you. That's what I
Plastic.
understood.
Yeah.
Wanted to clarify. Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
And I had a question myself. So one, are there any other opportunities to distribute reusable bags to our food assistance provider network? I know a lot of the food distributions already say bring your reusable bags, so I was just wondering if there were any efforts to make sure that that community has bags.
Does Alan or Vaughn want to respond to that?
I think that there are steps being taken to generate funds for more bags. I don't know how they will be distributed, but I do know that they are working on getting more bags. And again, I don't know how that will be distributed. So I have to get back to you on that one.
No worries. And I also just wanted to note that if you have any outreach materials, I'm happy to share that with this network so that they are able to make folks aware of what's coming in January. So please share that with us if you have it.
Would be
Absolutely.
fantastic. Yeah, I think we're going to have some flyers. We managed to contact 17. I'm talking for Sierra Club now. We managed to reach out to 17 of the I think it was 147 food banks on your list, and we've talked with them about flyers. We've been trying to get flyers for them. We don't have a lot of resources. We have I think like 350 reusable bags. They're actually really nice bags, but we're going to have to divide them amongst a couple of those. It's nowhere near the need. So we are talking with some of the council members. A lot of them do have reusable bags, and I'm hoping that they will step up also for some bag distribution.
You can also visit our website at mypgc.us, bag it right, and some of the flyers and materials that you can use for handouts is there.
Thank you. And do we have any other questions for DOE or Maryland Sierra Club?
Hi, I have a question, if you don't mind. Kathy Gabrielson. So I'm just wondering how this is going to work when I go shopping for my food distribution. And every other week I'll be buying 80 packs of chicken drumsticks or something similar that are in those small packages that sometimes will tend to leak. I guess my best bet, though, is either there'll be a huge purchase to put them all in paper bags. I worry about the reusable bags if we have blood dripping in them and not having access to washing them every week. Any other ideas?
Let me just say that, oh, go ahead, Alan.
Oh, go ahead, Martha. I think we're
oh,
along the same lines.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that the bag, it's all about bags at the point of sale. And the bags inside the store, like if you get something drippy inside the store, or you have a plant, that's drippy or anything like that, but the produce bags, those kinds of bags are not in the ban. Only the ones at checkout. So I can't vouch for where you're shopping and what they would have, but any kind of bag from the inside the store in other words, I think you'd have an opportunity to put something drippy in one of those intermediate, call it intermediate bag before you get to the checkout. So yeah.
Oh, okay,
That's-
okay. So
yeah.
if there are huge produce bags that the packs of chicken will fit in, I take those directly to the counter and then put them in my reusable bags. I think that's what I hear you saying.
Right, a reusable or paper bag, or just put them in your cart and roll them out if you have a carton or something in your car. Yeah. That-
Okay,
So those
okay.
those
Thank
like
you
your
for that.
bakery
Yeah.
bags, they're not really included in this either.
Okay,
things inside the
okay.
store.
That's yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question.
Yep. And then we have one more question in the chat. It says from Lindsay, are customers able to bring their own plastic and paper bags to reuse if they don't have reusable bags?
Yes, they can, but we're discouraging that. We're trying to get people into using reusable bags opposed to the plastic bags, but there probably are a lot of plastic bags that people stored up in their houses that they want to use. So yeah, they can use that.
I just mentioned bringing the bag you wanted to store. But eventually those little reuse plastic, the single-use plastic bags eventually won't be able to use them anymore because they'll
I can't understand you.
yeah.
Something happened. I couldn't understand you.
I believe Martha was trying to say that eventually what we want to do is see the use of the plastic bags cease and the reusable bags be more dominant.
The bill itself doesn't restrict what you can bring to the store. It restricts what the store can provide you at the checkout in the restaurant. Right. Did you get that?
Yes, your sounds better now.
Okay. All right, good.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
And then Brielle in the chat also said, will folks receiving SNAP have any discounted options for reusable, have any options available at checkout for reusable bags, I think?
So the approach is to make sure that they get reusable bags ahead of time and that they're totally informed so that everybody can participate in this activity. The stores, there's no restriction in stores giving away reusable bags ahead of the start of this program on January 1st. And I've been trying to reach some of the big ones, Giant Safeway, but I haven't been able to reach a human being, I guess, yet, leave messages, but we were hoping that some of the stores would hand these out, to people who need them. And then the bill also has 1 week a year when stores can do promotion of reusable bags and hand them out to whoever wants them. There's nothing to prevent, other groups from providing reusable bags even for free to people, even after the thing goes into effect, including the county and, other organizations that want to help. We hope that'll happen.
And Mary, I see your hand is up.
Yes, thank you. I will say a couple things. Number one, I was in Shoppers out in off of Conti Road the other day, and I had to find it really amusing that people were all going with the paper bags. That reminded me of the days when that's what we did. And of course they had no handles, and then people got smart and they got plastic bags with handles. But anyway, I do want to tell you that our office is trying to give out as many reusable bags as possible. We'll see if we can maybe step that up a little.
Perfect, thank you. All right, I'm gonna wrap up questions there. But if you have any other additional questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we can pass them along to DOE in the Sierra Club to answer them. I am going to pass it over to my colleague Julia to go over the cold storage assessment and those findings that she sent out a few weeks ago. So Julia, it's all yours.
Thanks, Heaven. And this is going to be more like a sneak peek or more to come for the cold storage results. But for anyone who doesn't know or didn't see it, we kind of decided to, I guess we were inspired by what the Office of Food Security did with their assessment and wanted to kind of dig into the cold storage needs a little bit further in the county. So we put together a Google form that just asked more questions specifically about cold storage. To get a sense of who has cold storage, who doesn't, and what those needs are for anyone. Our providers looking for more cold storage capacity, and specifically, what is that? So we put together this survey, sent it out a few weeks ago, and we're collecting responses. We did kind of an initial kind of data gathering of those responses. We got 30 responses. So, our food assistance provider network is 100 plus. So keep that in mind. That's just kind of a fraction of the total providers. And really what we saw was from those responses, about 50% of food assistance providers did not have cold storage. And then among the folks that did have cold storage, a lot of folks really said that their cold storage facilities were old and in need of either repair or replacement. That was a pretty common response. And it sounded like most of the food assistance providers that did not have cold storage, most of them were looking for more cold storage. A couple folks said that they weren't looking for anything. And, some of the reasons why they couldn't add cold storage was because of capacity limitations or maybe space limitations. But among the folks that said they were looking for cold storage, there was quite a range, but I would say the majority of people said that they were looking for kind of commercial refrigeration and freezer space between 2 to 6 units to add to their food distribution locations. We also asked some questions about access to transportation, if folks had access to a cold storage truck or vans, or how they were picking up their food, and then ask some questions about food waste. Are folks wasting food because they don't have proper infrastructure? And then we also asked a question about whether folks are turning down available food donations because of capacity. And majority of folks said, actually, I'm not sure if it was a majority, I would need to look back, but a lot of folks said that, they were sometimes turning down donations. It wasn't all the time. And then there was some food waste, but it doesn't seem to be a huge issue. So it's just kind of like a really high level overview of some of those results. I'm going to keep looking into the data a little bit more, and hopefully at our next call, we can kind of dive in and I can present some of those findings and some visuals to give you a better sense. In the meantime, hopefully this is inspiration for you all to maybe complete our survey if you haven't already. I said that it had closed, but I'm going to keep it open for a little bit longer. So if you weren't able to share your cold storage needs with us, please do. We're really hoping that it can give us a better kind of high level picture of what are the needs and what is the existing infrastructure that's available to help kind of get a better sense of the food security needs in the county. So I'm just going to drop the link for the survey in the chat. There you go. So if you have a couple minutes to just fill that in, that would be really, really helpful. So yeah, more to come. Hopefully I'll be able to present this and some visuals at our upcoming meeting.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So now I'm going to shift to a poll that we have. So we are considering changing our meeting schedule to every other month. So we just want you all's feedback on that. So I'm launching the poll now, and you should get a pop-up on your screen now. And the question is just, would you be in support of the Food Assistance Provider Network meeting every other month? And then yes or no. And I'll give you all about a minute or so to answer that. Can you all see the poll? Just want to make sure.
No, Heaven, we
Oh,
don't.
that's so interesting. Okay.
Kevin, I can see it, but sometimes that's a weird co-host thing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe remove me as co-host. I don't know why polls get so funky, I feel like with. Yeah, let's try that.
Okay. Do we see it now? No.
No, Heaven.
Okay. Let me. It's funny. Okay. Polls.
We can see it now.
Oh, okay. Whew. Okay, I'm not getting any responses, so maybe just instead give us a thumbs up if you would like to move forward with that, and a thumbs down if you would not, okay? All right, great, thank you guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. All right, I see mostly thumbs up. Very cool. So, in light of that, just wanted to share that we won't be having our January food assistance provider call, due to it just being the new year and being fresh off the holidays. So we'll start, off in February. So February 1st will be our, first call of the new year. And then I also wanted to get you all's feedback on, the call topics for 2024. And this is going to be just an open discussion. So you can either say it verbally or drop in the chat some call topics or areas of interest that you all would like us to focus on in 2024.
We'd love to hear you verbally or via the chat. We'll likely also be sending out a quick follow-up form. So if you're not able to speak right now or you're in transit, as I know a lot of you are, please note that we will be sending out a very quick survey to get a sense of what you'd like to hear about on these upcoming calls.
And if you need more time, I totally get that. Okay, cool. I see something in the chat from Casey. Feel free to continue dropping things in the chat, or if you want to email me or Julia, that's also fine. But again, we will be sending out a survey. And I just wanted to open up the floor for JD, give him a minute, give you a minute about the upcoming event happening next week, about SNAP time limits for able-bodied adults without dependents.
Sure. Thanks, Evan. Hey, everybody. Hi, it's JD Douglas Robinson from Maryland Hunger Solutions. Just wanted to let you all know that we will be doing a webinar next Thursday. That's December 14th from 10 to 11 a.m. on the already in place SNAP timelets for able-bodied adults without dependents. We'll be doing this in conjunction with our partners at Homeless Persons Representation Project. We'll be covering the history of the rule, kind of the new changes that have occurred due to the debt ceiling negotiations earlier this year, as well as the appeals process and how to make sure that folks are claiming exemptions if they are able to. Just a heads up, PG County is currently waived from this rule in the state, which is really wonderful news. However, this waiver is kind of, the county level waiver is year to year, so things may change. So this is just good information to have in your back pocket if you're curious about learning more. I'm putting the registration link in the chat right now, and I'll go ahead, and I think the flyer was already shared out. So that's about it. Yeah, hope to see you there.
Thanks, JD. And I also just wanted to highlight some other resources and funding opportunities for you all. It's in the bottom of our agenda. So the Stand Up and Deliver grant is coming back and available. There's up to $500,000 available. The deadline is pretty quickly approaching it with December 15th. And there's more information here on how to apply. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to this email address linked in the agenda. And then I also want to highlight another webinar that's occurring next week on the 14th, also at 3 p.m. FRAC is hosting a summer EBT deep dive about eligibility. So if you're interested in that, feel free to register there. Also on the agenda, and then other goodies below that you guys can take a look at. And if you all ever see any other opportunities or resources or funding opportunities, feel free to pass them along to me so that I can share them with the group. And now I'm just going to open up the floor for additional community announcements. Do we have any other community announcements that folks want to share? Feel free to come off mute or share them in the chat.
I had a quick question for Heaven and Julia. Hey y'all, for like the surveys and things like that, even though they're for our food provider network, would it be helpful if we shared that in our newsletter as council offices? Or do you want to keep it like smaller?
I think it's great to share that. You know, always note that it's specifically for food assistance providers. It's not for, you know, residents. I mean, depending on what the poll is, but I think the more outreach, the better, because, you know, we have a lot of folks on our distribution channels, but we know we're not reaching everyone. So the more outreach, the better. So yeah, I would say that'd be great.
All right, well, if you don't have anything else, I will give you all 5 minutes back to your day. And I will also send over the recording to this meeting and any slides and notes to this meeting. So, and I also just want to note that our YouTube playlist has all of our past food assistance provider calls. So if you ever want to look back or use them as training materials, feel free to do that. And that's also linked in our agenda at the bottom. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good one. Bye.